Hi, we're Little Comets, and for more videos, go to onthetableblogs.com.
So I'm here with Little Comets.
I'm Matt, and I play bass. I'm called Rob, and I sing and play the guitar.
You've just dropped your new album, and I think the subject lines of a lot of the songs within the album are really interesting. So tell me a little bit about how the album came to play, about organising what went on the album, and kind of your choice on subjects for that.
It's never really themed. It's never like we'll make an album about this and these are the songs that'll be on it. I think every album we've done it's been more of a snapshot of the songs that were wrote in a particular period of time. So I think this last album, it's kind of like it's the last 18 months of our lives. Just things that have influenced. And I think a couple of things that me and Mickey have both become dads in that time. So the way we perceive the world is very different now that we've got these people to guide through the formative years. Like it's our perception of life and what's important is really it's shifted, and I think we're more confident as songwriters now to take on different subject matter and different issues. And I think ultimately it's got to the point in my life where I don't know, I just realised that there's things that I want to talk about, and I feel that if I have a conversation with somebody, I'm not very good at putting my point of view across. I'll finish the conversation and be really frustrated that my emotions got the better of us and I wasn't as clear as I wanted to be. Whereas because of the way we write, the music will come first and the lyrics come later. When I sit down, I have a framework. I know the amount of syllables that I have to condense my view into, and so I really like the challenge of making sure that what I think is represented well, and I can use songs to do that as opposed to rambling conversations like this.
People can win stuff with your album when they've been downloading it. That was a really cool thing that I saw on your website.
Yeah, I think the reason we did that is because we used a site called Pledge Music, and we loved the flexibility of it, but we didn't like how a lot, I'm not being critical of bands that do this per se, but a lot of them, but whenever you say but,
but the insult is coming.
But like the idea of, say, buy CD for £10, or you can buy CD and the band direct your music video for £1,000, it's like we didn't feel comfortable with putting like large price tags because it made it quite exclusive, but also how do you put a value on something like that?
Yeah.
So we decided instead of having high price items, we'd like have a raffle so that anybody who bought an album would kind of draw the name, and cool. Then so you still got the kind of really like exclusive experience, but without having to kind of, you know, without it only being available to somebody who had that amount of money available to them. So
you said that you didn't really, you weren't a massive fan of the first album compared to the album that you've got now. What was it about the first album that kind of had a stigma attached to it?
I think like when we left university, I think we realised when we studied the subjects that we didn't have a passion for them, and we had a passion for music. But we approached it with the same logic that we'd approached, A-levels, university, and then a career. And it was very much a kind of stepped approach that we needed this list of things, and we tried to write songs in a certain way, and it didn't quite happen like that. But there was real urgency and an ambition about the music that wasn't really reflective of what we thought about things. It was just more, I don't know, it was just
to serve a purpose.
Yeah. So there's that, and also the recording of it was quite a stressful time in terms of having arguments with record labels, and I think it just, I listen to that album, it's got a lot of holes in and things that I'd like to change, and moments that, like, there's some songs on that I really love, but there's some songs that I kind of just haven't been finished. And it's like that with the second album and this album that we've done, but more so with the first album. It's got more holes in it, I think.
I mean, because we did see Dancing Song on a Radox advert, which was pretty funky. I remember being in my lounge and thinking, I know that song, I know that band. But you spoke about, obviously, going through different labels. Am I right in thinking now you're working kind of on an independent basis with your music for now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just us at the minute.
Are there any kind of things that influence you when you're writing music from people you listen to?
I think when we're writing, we try and like completely just clear our heads and just be influenced by everything that we've taken in. So like it might be a song or a book or a conversation or something you overhear or something you read. Like we try and just like whatever's residual, whatever's just whatever's stuck in our heads for whatever reason, that's what we're trying, like, get out when we're writing. We see it very differently. Like when we sit down and listen to music, we're not at work. We're kind of just, because we love music.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think music that we love, Paul Simon, I love like classic singer-songwriters, Neil Young. Really love, like, I'm listening to a lot of Peter Gabriel at the minute. After he was kind of quite mad. Like, I inherited my dad's vinyl.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah. Vinyl collections are great. My first one was Carnival of the Animals or something like that, so it's kind of got better since then, but at least we've had them since a young age and it helps with influence. So I know we're tight for time, but I really wanted to get the fans engaged with your new album because I think it's brilliant. I've listened to it. So are you willing to take part in a little game? It will be quick, but I want to test you on your knowledge on your own music.
Yeah. Wow.
So I've picked some lyrics and I want you to tell me which song they're from, and then maybe give a few words on each song if you fancy it, you know. So, first lyric, don't drown, your dreams stay true.
I know that one, Matt.
Yeah, I know that one too.
What is it then?
Gift of Sound.
My Boy William.
Not really. So,
Putting pressure.
quick kind of line about it, if there's anything particularly you'd like to say about the track at all.
Yeah, it's like kind of a little message to me little boy, and it's got my favourite bit on the album, which is my little boy talking to Mickey's little boy, and we recorded it in an afternoon, and then I edited it like late one night over the music. We knew where we wanted to put it, and that was the most enjoyable bit for me of the whole recording of the album, where I had to edit this conversation down. Some of the little things they said that weren't in, like at one point George, Mickey's little boy's just running around going, I got spoons here. And it kind of like, it was lovely, but it wasn't right, but there was just so many little things like that that just didn't end up going in, so that's that song.
Benefits driving the Daily Mail. Daily Grind.
Yeah.
So this one's about single mothers. I thought that was great because you're kind of looking out for the women in some of your songs, I guess, and writing about them. Any words on that at all?
Yeah, I just think, single parents get portrayed in an extremely rough way, and I think you should kind of like, if you're going to make statements like that, you need to be careful, because tarring people with the same brush is never a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a good subject to write a song about. Everything was open, but your mouth stayed shut.
Yeah, you did well.
Yeah, you're on it. Here we go. So, what's this one about?
It's about Lance Armstrong. I had a friend at uni who he went from, like, when he went to uni, he was a decent cross country runner, and he ended up he was like 5'10", and he ended up rowing the reserve boat at the boat race, like with international athletes who were like 6'5", and his inspiration was Lance Armstrong, and not just my friend, but like, people who'd survived cancer, like, built a lot of trust on someone like that, and it's one of the greatest ever stories. Like, a guy comes back from being virtually dead to win the toughest sporting event there is 7 times. Like, it's too good to be true, and it's like it's the kind of question. Well, if that's too good to be true, then like what else is? And it does make you kind of question a lot of things, and the way that he did it as well, the way that he kind of bullied people and threat people, and it was just, I think it's an unbelievably like big story that's happened in the last.
Well, it seems there's a lot of kind of stories that have inspired you to, whether it's subject matters that have inspired you for these songs. Okay, we've got 2 more. I'll fit them in because they are my favourite. But I don't seem to mind the gruesome link between people and time.
Yeah, Matty, nailing it now.
Lily.
Lily.
By Jordan. And one more. Why empower misogyny while violence towards women grows?
Blur the line in the thickest of onions.
And that's the last song on the track, the final song on your album. A few words about that one, perhaps, because it kind of finishes off all the work that you've put together for this success.
I think it's a few issues in one, but I just took real umbrage at the fact that a song like Blurred Lines could be so widely played, like across many media, like bits of media, without people kind of thinking, hang on, what's this song saying? And it's kind of it's the it's the epitome of, clearly people aren't listening, like people who run radio stations aren't listening to lyrics, because if you put something like that on the radio, then you can't have listened to it, and you can't have considered what it's about. So, like, what's like I don't know.
I understand what you're saying.
This is what I mean by I write a song about it, because
Yeah.
I kind of I feel so strongly about it.
Yeah.
Like, if, Radio 1, like, it has a job to do, and it's clearly not doing that job properly. Or either it supports what songs like that say, and which it clearly doesn't, or it doesn't bother.
Yeah. And they're not kind of looking through what they're actually playing on the radio, lyric for lyric.
Yeah, and we wrote a song called Violence Out Tonight, which we decided to release as a single, and we were told that the subject matter, it's a depiction of, somebody being raped, and we were told that the subject matter is not right for radio, and it's kind of like...
Little Comets, right? I know you make up a cool little story about where the name came from, but where did the name come from?
It's like most band names. I'd say that most bands have a fancy story of where the name came from, but actually the truth will be that it was the least bad one on a list that they came up with, and it's the same with Little Comets. I had a friend who a name on MSN Messenger was Le Petit Comet, and I'd done French. I knew what petit meant, obviously, but the comet, I thought, what does that mean in French? And I typed it in, it was comet. Yeah. So I thought, Little Comet, that's a nice name for a band, to come up with something that's kind of like on the line between believable and unbelievable. So
I've seen a little bit of banter between you and Catfish and the Bottlemen. I'm going to bring that up. They're great guys. I've met them as well. So how did that friendship kind of form? I know, has there been some supporting in the past and it's kind of gone up from there? How did that all take place?
They've kind of they've been hanging around for ages, and we've seen them at random festivals, and I think the first one that I really sat down and talked to them was Wakestock a few years ago, and we sat in the little backstage area, and we were just having a bit crack on, and I was talking to Larry, who's their tech, and was so much more than just a tech, but and having just a bit crack with the rest of the lads, and they're really nice people. They're very similar, sort of down to earth, and just really genuine. And I think it's difficult to find people like that a lot of the time. So then it's just sort of like watched each other's sets, and then there was a gig in Wigan of all places where they were going to support us, which ended up getting cancelled for some reason. And then we kind of thought, well, why not have them on tour, because they're really good lads, and the songs are brilliant. I think it was the first date, I think Van went up to Rob and just said, "You're going to be my best mate," and Rob was just like, "You're mental, you." And lo and behold, they're really good friends of ours now. So
anyway, good luck with your gig tonight, guys. I'll stop waffling. Have a brilliant night, and thanks for the interview today.
Thanks for the interview.
Bye.